Okay, in this video we are going to talk about simple interest. Okay, all simple interest means is how much extra money you have to pay someone after you borrow money. Okay, you can also invest money, meaning like you give someone money for maybe like a project or a company, and you hope they take your money and they make even more money with it. Okay, so simple interest is pretty easy. You just need to remember this formula. Okay, you need to memorize this. Okay, I equals PRT. I is the interest, or the amount of money you paid or earned. So we are going to practice calculating simple interest. The way we calculate interest, or the extra money you have to pay, or the extra money you invest and the money you get, you need to do principal times rate times time. Okay? P means principal. Principal is the amount of money you invest or you borrow. Okay? R is the rate, the interest rate. Okay? And usually they give it to you as a percent. You need to change this percent to a decimal by dividing by 100. And we'll practice that in this video. And then T is the time, which we always use years. Okay? So before we start, you need to know how to change percents to a decimal. So these are different interest rates. Okay? Interest rates. For when we do the formula, I equals P times R times T, the R is going to be a percent. And you need to change this percent to a decimal. And it's really easy. All you have to do is divide by 100. So 5% interest, that does not mean you're going to multiply by 5. No. You need to change this to a decimal by dividing by 100, and you're going to get 0.05. The other way you can do this, you can do 5%. You start here and you go 2 spaces to the left. Okay, you go 2 decimal places, or 2 dp. So you can go like this: 1, 2. The decimal goes here, and over here you're going to write a 0. If this is too much for you, please don't do this, because some of you forget to write a 0. Just divide by 100. That's the easiest thing to do. So 4.5%. How do I change this to a decimal? I divide by 100 and I get 0.045. Again, if you wanted to do it this way, all you do is take this 1, 2, and you put a 0 there. Okay? That means when I do interest equals PRT, for R, I don't do 4.5%. I use this for R. Okay? 10%, to change this, you divide by 100 and you get 0.10. Or you can do this. 10%, again, is the same as saying 10.0. So you can go 1, 2, 0.10. 6.4% divided by 100 is going to be 0.64%. Again, you can do it like this if you want to. 1, 2, and anytime you have a blank line, you're going to write a 0. 12.5%, again, to change this to a decimal, you divide by 100, and you should get 0.125. If you wanted to do it the decimal point way, you just move this 2 decimal places to the left. 5.23%, interest rate, you divide by 100, and you should get 0.0523, excuse me. And if you wanted to do it this way, all you do is move it 2 places. Put the decimal there, and over here you're going to put a 0. So when we calculate simple interest, we need how much money we borrow or invest times the interest rate. Okay? These are all interest rates, and they express this as a percent. But you need to change this percent to a decimal before you plug it in. And then time, you do time in years. Okay? Make sure when you do I equals PRT, make sure the time is in years. If they already give you the years, you don't have to do anything. But sometimes they give you months. To change from months to years, all you have to do is divide by 12, because there's 12 months in a year, right? Easy peasy. So, 6 months. That does not mean I put 6 over here. When I do I equals PRT, I don't do this. I don't put 6 because I need years, okay? So this is wrong. So I have to do 6 divided by 12, and I get 0.5. That basically means 6 months is 0.5 years, right? 6 months is half a year. 24 months. When I do I equals PRT, I don't put 24 here. No, I need to put years, right? And I just divide by 2, or excuse me, 12, because there's 12 months, right, in a year. So 24 divided by 12 means 2 years, right? 2 years is 24 months. Next I have 9 years, or excuse me, 9 months, okay? I don't put 9 here with time. I need to divide this by 12 and change it to years. 0.75 years, okay? Or 3/4, right? 15 months. I need to do 15 divided by 12, and I'm going to get 1.25, okay? 3 months divided by 12, I'm going to get 0.25. And then last but not least, if they say I have 30 months to pay something, I need to change this to years by dividing by 12, and I get 2.5 years. So 30 months is 2.5 years. Okay, now let's practice finding the simple interest, okay? Find the simple interest. Simple interest means I, okay? For a loan of $500 at 6.5% interest rate for 3 years. Okay, first we need to write the simple interest formula. You need to memorize this, okay? Don't forget. It's really easy. I equals PRT, okay? We're calculating the simple interest. Remember, P is the money you borrow or the money you invest. So I need to borrow $500, okay? A loan means I borrow money. A loan means I borrow money. 6.5% interest, okay? This right here is going to be my R, okay? This is my interest rate. And then 3 years, this is the time, okay? So the principal is $500. That's how much money I borrow. The rate is 5%. Remember, or excuse me, 6.5%. Right? 6.5%. Remember, I do not write 6.5% for R. I need to divide this by 100 and change it to a decimal, which is going to be 0.065. This is what I put for R when I plug it in. And then time, remember, it always has to be in years. They were so nice, they already gave me the years, so all I have to do is write 3. Now I can calculate the simple interest, or how much extra money I have to pay. So I equals, that's an ugly I equals PRT. P, I borrow $500. R, I don't write 6.5%. I need to decimal 0.065. And then time is 3 years. And then when you get here, all this is multiplying. You just multiply 500 times 0.065 times 3. And the simple interest total is $97.05. Okay, so this right here is I. The simple interest is $97.05. What this means is I borrowed $500. Okay, I borrowed $500. I have 6 years, or no, excuse me, 3 years to pay back $500. But they are also going to need some extra money because you borrowed money and you need to kind of give, it's kind of like a service fee. And this is how banks make money, and this is how credit card companies make money, with interest rates. Okay, so after you pay back, if it takes you the whole 3 years to pay back the $500, you also have to pay $97.50 interest. So after 3 years, when you finish paying everything off, you're going to be paying this total. Okay, and again, you are going to use this when you buy a car. Okay, when you buy a new car, you know, a new car is usually like what? I just bought a new car. My new car is $27,000. Do you think I have $27,000 right now? No. So my dealership, Honda told me I can pay them back with 2.99% interest in 6 years. Okay? And then when I finish paying, if it takes me the whole 6 years to pay them, I'm going to end up paying $33,000 total, okay, after I pay simple interest. So the answer for this problem is you pay $97.05 in interest, simple interest. Okay, let's keep practicing. Which of the following can be used to find the simple interest for $1,000 at 4.5% for 6 months? Okay, so which one of these is the correct way to write the equation I equals PRT for this one? Okay, first let's do principal. Principal is how much money I borrowed. It's $1,000. Okay, now let's do the rate, the interest rate. The interest rate is 4.5%. Remember, I need to change this to a decimal by dividing by 100, and that gives me 0.045. And then I need to do time. Here, they gave me 6 months, okay? Remember, when I use this formula, time needs to be in years, okay? And remember how we change this to years? You divide by 12, because there's 12 months in a year. So for time, I'm not going to write 6, okay? So this right here is wrong, and this right here is wrong. I'm going to do 6 divided by 12, and that's going to give me 0.5, okay? For our interest rate, I don't do 4.5%. I use the decimal. So this is wrong. And yeah. Okay. So let's look at this information. I need to do 1,000, 0.045, and 5% and 0.5. The correct answer for this one would be D. Okay? And if I multiply 1,000 times 0.045 times 0.5, okay, my simple interest, let me write it here, my simple interest is going to be $22.50. Okay, that's what I get after I multiply all of those. But D is the correct way to set up the formula. Okay. Find the simple interest of a loan of $250, 6.5% for 3 years. All right, let's do this together. First, I write the simple interest formula, I equals PRT. Principal, how much money did I borrow? $250, right? This is the P. So I'm going to write $250. What is the rate? 6.5%. But remember, I need to change this to a decimal. I don't write 6.5 for R. You divide by 100, and it gives you 0.065. That's what you put in for R. So this right here is R, but you need to make it into a decimal. And then time is years. They already give you years, so you don't have to do anything. You're ready. So when we finish, we just do I equals PRT. I equals 250 times 0.065 times 3. Okay? So let me multiply this real quick. Alright, my simple interest is going to be $48.75. That is the answer. That is how much simple interest I have to pay for this loan of $250 at 6.5% interest rate for 3 years. Find the simple interest of if $385 is invested at 12.6% for 9 months. Okay, invested is when you give someone money. Okay, you give someone or some company. Sometimes you invest in a company. You give them money, and you hope it makes you more money. That's what invests means. Okay, but it's the same thing. How much money did you borrow or invest? In this case, we're investing. Right? It's $385 total. The rate, the interest rate is 12.6%. Remember, I'm not going to write that in my formula for R. I need to divide by 100 to get the decimal, and it's going to be 0.126. Time is 9 months. But remember, I need to make sure it's in years, and I need to divide by 12. And then when I do that, it's going to be 0.75 years. Okay, now I'm ready to find the simple interest. I equals PRT. I equals 385 times 0.126 times 0.75. Okay, make sure you're using these numbers. Okay, if you do this, this is wrong. Okay, don't do this. Don't say 12.6 times 9. This is wrong. You need to change this to a decimal, and you need to change this to years. Okay, this is wrong. So all you got to do now is multiply 385 times 0.126 times 0.75, and I get 363825. Remember, when I'm dealing with money, I only need 2 decimal places. if I look at this number, if it's 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, 5 or more, I add one more. But here it's 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. It's 4 or less, I don't change it. I let it rest. Okay? 5 or more, add one more. 4 or less, let it rest or don't change it. So I don't change this 38. So my answer for this is going to be $36.38 of simple interest. Okay? Alright, so hopefully that helps you understand simple interest. Now we can spend a little bit time with proportions, okay? So here's a pie graph, and it's hard to read, but there's a family, okay, and they spend $7,000 a month, okay? And this tells you how much they spend on everything. Housing is 27%, food is 34%, okay? Let's answer these questions. How much money does the family spend on food? Okay, food is 34%. So what that means is they spend 34% of $7,000 on food. Okay? So, how much money does the family spend on food? I cannot say 34%. That's not money. We want to know how much money is this, okay? So, we need to figure out what is 34% of $7,000. Remember we did this before, right? What is 34% of 7,000? So I need to do is over of equals percent over 100. I don't know is of 7,000. Percent is 34. And this is always 100. Okay, perfect. Then I do cross multiply. I get 238,000. And then I divide by 100. And I get $2,380. So 34% of their $7,000 is on food. 34% of $7,000 is $2,380. So of their $7,000, they spend $2,380 on food. Now let's see, how much money does the family spend on clothing and entertainment? Clothing is 11%, entertainment is 13%. So I need to figure out how much money do they spend on these two things, entertainment and clothing. Clothing is 11%, entertainment is 13%. So I can add these together and see that clothing and entertainment together is 24%. That means that they spend 24% of $7,000 on clothing and entertainment. But I can't say this answer is 24% because it's asking me how much money. So I need to figure out how much, or excuse me, what is 24% of $7,000? Okay, do the same thing we did here. What is 24% of $7,000? I don't know what is of $7,000. 24%, 100. Do the same thing. Cross multiply 7,000 times 24%. I get 168,000. And then I divide by 100. And my answer is going to be $1,680. So this family spends $7,000 a month. $1,680 is for clothes and entertainment, like having fun. Easy, right? You need to memorize this. Is over of equals percent over 100. Okay. This is hard to read. I'm sorry. John, an ice cream seller, sells ice cream during weekdays. The pie graph display the number of ice cream sold. Okay, so this is hard to read. Monday 180, Tuesday 120, Wednesday he sold 360 ice creams, Thursday he sold 300 ice creams, and Friday he sold 240 ice creams. Okay, on which day is the most ice cream sold? Okay, this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So which day did he sell the most ice cream? Right here, right? This is the biggest number, so it's Wednesday. That one's easy, right? How much ice cream was sold in 1 week? Okay. All you need to do is add these numbers together, okay? Add 180, 120, 360, 300, 240. Okay? Let me do that real quick. 180 plus 120 plus 360 plus 300 plus 240. So he sold 1,200 ice creams total. What percent of the week's ice cream sales happened on Friday? On Friday, he sold 240 ice creams, right? If he sold 1,200 ice creams total, what percent is that? What percent was sold on Friday? Okay, so you can set up a word problem by using is over of equals percent over 100. You can ask yourself, what percent of what? The total. 1,200 is 240. And you can do is 240 over of is 1,200 equals percent over 100. Okay? Another way you can do this that's a little bit easier, all you can do is just divide. You can just do 240 divided by 1,200. Okay? But you need to be careful with this. When I do this, I get 0.2. This is a decimal. You need to change this to a percent. And excuse the noise upstairs. My neighbors are noisy. To do this, remember, to change a decimal to a percent, you multiply by 100. Okay, or you can move it 2 spaces to the right. So the answer to this question is 20%. On Friday, they sold 20% of the ice creams for the whole week. Okay? Alright, now let's talk about using proportions to help solve word problems, okay? And we're going to follow these 3 easy steps for each one. Janet is making cookies, okay? Lovely, lovely cookies, okay? For every 2 cups of water added to the mix, she needs 3 cups of flour. So, these are 2 cups of water. Every time she uses 2 cups of water, she needs 3 cups of flour. Okay? So this is 2 cups of water, 3 cups of flour. How much water will Janet need with 9 cups of flour? So now we need to figure out how much water will she need for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm just going to write the F's in here. 9 cups of flour. We can set up a word ratio and then a proportion to help us solve this out. Let's first set up a word ratio. Word ratio just means what two things are you comparing here, or what two things are you using here. Here we're using water and we're using flour, okay? For every 2 cups of water, I need 3 cups of flour. So the word ratio is we're trying to see how much water you need, or for how much flour you need for how much water you need, okay? Number 2 is fill in the proportion. I'm going to draw 2 lines like this to make a proportion. On this side, on the top, I'm going to use water only. On the bottom is only for flour, okay? Flour only. So, let's read the problem again. For every 2 cups of water, I need 3 cups of flour. 2 cups of water goes on the top, so 2 cups of water, and then the flour goes on the bottom, 3 cups of flour. For every 2 cups of water, I need 3 cups of flour. How much water will I need with 9 cups of flour? So now I need to put this 9 somewhere. 9 cups of flour. Flour we said was going to be on the bottom. And we're trying to figure out how much water will I need. So I don't know how much water, so I'm going to write an X. And hopefully you guys know how to do this. How do you solve for X? Do the same thing we've been doing. You cross multiply. 2 times 9 is 18. And then you divide by this last number is 3. And then you get 6. Okay? That means if Janet is using 9 cups of flour, she needs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cups of water for her cookies. Okay? And then step 3, we solved for the missing variable. So all you need to do is make sure over here at the top is water, and then over here at the top or bottom is flour, or whatever it is that you're doing. Okay? We're going to do more practice with this. 3 t-shirts cost $15. How much do 5 t-shirts cost? Step 1, set up a word ratio. So 3 t-shirts cost $15. So I'm looking at the ratio between t-shirts and the cost, how much money I have to pay, right? It says 3 t-shirts cost $15. So let me do step 2, fill in my proportion. Okay? Remember, over here on the top is only for t-shirts. On the bottom, I'm going to put cost, or how much money. So 3 t-shirts cost $15. I'm going to put the 3 t-shirts on the top and the $15 on the bottom with the cost. How much do 5 t-shirts cost? Where do I put this 5? It's 5 t-shirts, so I'm going to put it on the top, because top is for t-shirts. And I'm trying to see how much they cost. I don't know how much they cost, so I'm going to write an N. Oh, excuse me, an X. You can do any letter you want. P, Q, W, I don't care. Alright? And then 3 is solve. Easy, right? 15 times 5 is 75. And then you divide by 3. And you're going to get $25, right? So 3 t-shirts cost $15. 5 t-shirts cost $25. Easy, right? Okay. In Miss Baxy's class, 6 out of 15 students are girls. If the school has the same rate with 900 total students, how many girls are in the school? Okay, set up a ratio, a word ratio. 6 out of 15 total students are girls. So we have 6 girls out of 15 total students. Okay, so my ratio is going to be girls to total students, right? On the top is only going to be girls, and on the bottom is going to be total students. 6 girls out of 15 total students. So I'm going to write 6 on the top because girls are going to be at the top part, and then 15 total students because total students are on the bottom. If the school has the same rate with 980 total students, how many girls are in the school? So I don't know how many girls are in the school, but I know that there's 980 total students. Total students is only on the bottom, right? And now you solve for the missing variable. 6 times 980. Let me try it again. 6 times 980 is 5,880. And then you're going to divide by 15. Cross multiply and then divide. I get 392 girls. Okay? So if Miss Baxey's class is the same as the whole school, that means 392 out of the 980 are going to be girls. Alright, let's keep going. We're doing the same thing. Step 1, set up a word ratio. Bill made $18 in 5 hours doing his chores. If he was paid $100, how many hours did he work? Round to the nearest tenth. That just means find the closest number, 1 decimal place after the one decimal place. Okay, can't talk. All right, so $18 in 5 hours. So my word ratio can be dollars or money, right, to hours, how long he works. He got $18 in 5 hours, right? So now let me do step 2, fill in the proportion. Dollars is on the top, hours is on the bottom. $18 in 5 hours. If he was paid $100, how many hours did he work? He was paid $100. How many hours did he work? Remember, money goes over here, hours go on the bottom. So now I can do what I always been doing. Cross multiply. 5 times 100 is 500. And then you divide by 18. I get 2.77777 repeating. Okay. It says round to the nearest tenth. So I can just, that's the 10th place value. Look at this number. It's 5 or more. What do? Add one more. So I change this to 27.8 hours. Okay. Alright. Marcus has a fish tank where 3 out of 8 fish are tropical. Okay. So that means 3 fish are tropical and he has 8 fish total. If there are 48 fish total, how many are tropical? Okay, so this is asking you how many are tropical. Alright, let's set it up. My word ratio is going to be tropical fish to total fish. That's my word ratio. It says here 3 out of 8 fish are tropical. So that means 3 fish are tropical and there's 8 fish total in this ratio. There's actually 48 fish total. But this is the ratio. 3 out of 8 are tropical. So 3 are tropical and then 8 goes for total fish. If there are 48 fish total, how many are tropical? I don't know how many are tropical, but I know there's 48 fish total, right? Okay, do what we've been doing. Cross multiply. 3 times 48 equals 144. Divided by 8 gives me 18 tropical fish. Okay, hopefully this is making more sense. Just remember to set up a word ratio and make sure you keep everything the same on the top and everything the same on the bottom, and then you cross multiply and divide. Okay, last little practice with reading graphs. What percent of students, it's an ugly percent, prefer soccer? So first, when we get a graph, we have to read the title, our favorite sports. Okay, and then we read the axes. Okay, so here they have sports: soccer, softball, baseball, other. And then we read this one. What do these numbers mean? Number of students. Okay, so very important, before you answer questions, you read the graph. Read the title, read, this is called the x-axis, okay? And then this is called the y-axis. You need to read what these are called, all right? So, first things we want to do is write how many total like each sport. So soccer, here's 8, and here's 10. That means this line over here has to be 9. Softball, let me write 9 here. Softball, okay, this is going to be 4 students like softball. How many students like basketball? Let's see, it's going to be 8. Right? Yes, 8. And then how many students like other sports? Like, I don't know, volleyball, football. It's going to be, it's right here. So it's between 2 and 4. So in the middle, it's 3. Okay. I need to find out what percent of students prefer soccer. Okay. Very similar to what we did with the problem with the family. We're going to have to find out the total first. Or the problem with the ice cream, we have to find out the total first, okay? So I need to add these numbers up. 9 plus 4 plus 8 plus 3 means 24, okay? That means in this survey there's 24 responses total. Now I have enough information to figure out what percent likes soccer. So 9 out of 24 people like soccer. And there's 2 ways you can do this. You can say, what percent of 9 is 24? Okay? And then here you do is over of equals percent over 100. And you're going to do, oh, wait, I wrote this wrong. This should be, what percent of 24 is 9? Okay? Or you can say, 9 is what percent of 24? Okay? So it's 9 over 24 equals percent over 100. But when I do problems like this, the easiest way for me to do this is just to do 9 divided by 24. So 9 students like soccer, okay, out of 24 students total. So all I can do is do 9 divided by 24, and I get this number. But remember, it's asking me for a percent. So I need to change this number to a percent. There's 2 ways you can do this. You can multiply by 100, or you move this 2 spaces to the right. 1, 2. So it's 37.5% of these students prefer soccer.